Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome back to the Animal Crossing Let's Play. You're currently watching the abridged portion of this playthrough, where I cut out all the fluff and simply talk about my adventures of playing through an entire year of Animal Crossing in a summary format. If you'd rather watch the playthrough in its entirety, check out the video description for a link to a playlist that has all the episodes and stream sessions I've done, raw and unedited. But if you'd rather stick around for these videos, well, just sit back and enjoy my adventures through Popstar. Wednesday, December 12th. With the weather getting colder and needing a bit of relief from the snow, I decided to visit the island today for a grand total of 0 new items for the catalog once again. Yeah, I gotta be doing something wrong here, seriously. I think I read somewhere that these items only have a 5% chance of appearing, but still, I would have expected getting 1 island item by now at least. Oh well, I spent a little more time with Flossie today at least, and that did kind of make up for it. I found out that much like me, Flossie considers Pieces to be the greatest video game of all time, totally not influenced by anything else or for any other reason at all. She also thinks Cap'n might have a thing for her or something, is a little creeped out over that fact. And while I wouldn't blame her on that, a part of me also thinks she has nothing to worry about. Cap'n is so obsessed with cucumbers that I honestly wouldn't be surprised if his wife was a cucumber at this point, for real. Also, on my way back home, Cap'n either called out Moby Dick or made a very inappropriate reference in a kid's game. Let's just say this is not an author you want to reference when talking about the inside of your pants. Just saying. Thursday, December 13th. On a day with one of Nook's awful sales, and the discovery of 2 paintings, neither of which are the remaining 3 we need for the museum, you would think that this day would be void of any victories. However, some success did happen for me, as far as I'm concerned. For one, although it won't show in the catalog since it's part of the furniture section, we've now collected every notebook and calendar for the catalog, which means I don't have to buy those anymore. Not a lot to say about these items. They are mainly just ways you can check an in-game calendar for potential events, or even write journal entries for each individual day, which I'm kind of already doing in a more efficient manner that doesn't involve messing with the clunky in-game text editor. The other significant victory we had today was actually when I noticed Ava talking to Jeremiah, and she got him to start wearing a 67 shirt alongside of her. Did Ava seriously just convert one of the Cherry Cult's original members? I think so. Way to go, Ava. And to make this victory even more sweet, I changed her catchphrase to Ava67 in all caps, just to symbolize what an iconic victory this was. Friday, December 14th. To further flex our victory from the previous day, and because I'm surprised I hadn't even tried this yet, I picked up a spare 67 shirt I had in my house, and used it on my item inventory screen. Seriously, why hadn't I done this yet? I also got perhaps one of the funniest letters from Mom so far, where she told me she took up doing aerobics, but the session ended with a call to the fire department, and her declaring that firemen are cute. Yeah, I'm starting to think that I, no longer living at home, is awakening some weird things in my mom. I also found another cabana item today buried in town, and I think that means I only have one last one to collect before the series is completed. Now, I know I stopped collecting that series a while ago, but interesting to see that I would have probably still had some success if I did stick with it. Saturday, December 15th. Our mom told us another embarrassing story from our past, and I got excited because it could have led to us getting our final fruit, but once again we got stuck with something we already had. I swear, this orange may be the biggest troll of the entire project so far. And I even announced on stream that if I happen to still be looking for this fruit by February, I may have to take some extreme measures to make sure I finally get it. Anyway, since it was Saturday and I came pretty late in the day, there wasn't a whole lot I could get accomplished, but I tried to get a few favors done. Unfortunately, Lily went to bed before I could complete one of them, so I'll have to wait until tomorrow for that. Also, when I was cleaning out the Lost and Found, I found a gold stereo. A really cool looking and rare music player that was also not in my catalog yet. Really good find, I must say. Anyway, it's music time in Popstar once again. This week's town tune is the following. Name it. And for KK Slider this week, we took in the lovely sounds of KK Ska. Let's see if this music really does have healing powers, as Lily claimed months ago, because I wrote this script when I was sick and I was desperate to actually feel better from it. Turns out, it did actually help.
Oh, me, oh, now, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh. Now, me, quick, quick, oh, me, quick, quick.
Sunday, December 16th. I awoke this morning to see a garbage truck leaving Popstar, which can only mean that Trashmere is finally moving out of town, and I couldn't be happier. She made a terrible first impression, and was also not very kind to Lily either during her stay, and those are things I just can't get behind. As a result, I was more than happy to give a lot of very enthusiastic waves as she departed our town for good. But of course, as usual, once one snooty leaves, another one enters the fold as we say hello to our newest neighbor, Rhoda, a snooty rainbow chicken. I was admittedly a bit taken aback at first when I saw her, but with my more recent appreciation of Ava 67, I think we can give Rhoda a chance here, especially since the first generation of Animal Crossing games also happen to be Rhoda's only series appearances, never to reappear in any following game, which is kind of a shame. Anyway, welcome to Popstar, Rhoda. I hope you enjoy your stay here. There isn't a lot to say about this day beyond that, though. Joan came once again, but turnips were a bit too expensive this time, so I passed on them. And Sahara was also back, so I got a few more carpets I still needed for the catalog. Tonight just so happened to be another Wisp session as well, and although I wasn't necessarily looking for this item, Wisp did deliver perhaps one of my favorite furniture items in the entire series, the Water Bird. I love this item, and no, not just because of the Simpsons reference involved with it, but I also just really think these little guys are neat. I even had one for a couple of years after being gifted one by Madame Wario for Christmas one year, so yeah, it was nice to finally get one in this playthrough. Oh, I guess there was also one negative that happened today as well, and it came from a very surprising source. During the day, I talked to Bill and he offered to give me one of his items if I guessed how many push-ups he did the previous day. I guessed between 10 and 99, which seemed like a pretty fair amount, just to find out that it was a grand total of 2. Because I got the question wrong, Bill forced me to buy his prized item, which happened to be a pitfall. How much money did I buy it with? How about every single bell I had in my current possession? I don't even remember how much I had, but it was way more than what I lost when Monique pulled this crap a few months ago. I was pretty angry at Bill as a result of this, that I immediately planted the pitfall he gave me and pushed him right into it. This is why you never mess with Slim like that. Now, Bill is still one of my favorites, and I'm not going to give him the permanent silent treatment or anything like that, but I did lose a lot of respect for him here, or at the very least, this incarnation of Bill. I seriously feel like the other Bills I had wouldn't have done something this blasphemous, so this was definitely a hard pill to swallow for me. Monday, December 17th. We're almost a week away from Christmas, or Toy Day as the game calls it, so I guess it would be a good day to spend some time with the neighbors and spread some holiday cheer. For starters, I sent a letter to Bill in an effort to smooth things over after yesterday. I am heavily disappointed in him because he's my bro and I expected better from him, but he's always been one of my favorites, so I don't want to give up on him just yet. Strangely enough, though, the other male duck in town has been putting in some good work and has been giving me some really cool gifts as a result. Hey, I'll take stuff like this over some of the more extreme gifts this murder duck mob boss could offer. Curly also gave me a pretty interesting gift today too, in the form of the harp, right before he decided that he wanted it back. Guys, I don't think Curly quite understands the meaning of holiday spirits, so he may be wrestling with that concept for a bit. Oh well, 'tis the season for giving, which is why Nook is giving us another one of his sales in a few days. And to that, once again, I say, why? Also, Rhoda is weird. I don't exactly remember why exactly, but I had that written in my notes for some reason, so take that for what you will. Tuesday, December 18th. This day starts with another fruit teasing by my mother, as I'm literally praying for an orange. Unfortunately, though, Mom picked a cherry again. Seriously, when the hell am I going to get this orange? I used the seething rage to spend pretty much all of this day's session working on my house. I mentioned that I was going to try and go for the HRA rewards this month, and considering more than half of the month was gone already, this was probably the only time to do it. Basically, my idea here was to switch my first and second floors around, locking the space theme to the smaller second floor, and stuffing my first floor with not only the Harvest series, but any rare and special items I have that could increase my points. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on this, and I pretty much used online wikis to help me do this, but from what little understanding I do have, the main thing you want to do is complete furniture series and themes, as that will be the bulk of your points. Completing a full series like the Harvest series should net you around 48,000 points, assuming that all the items are placed properly and not facing the wrong direction. Completing a theme or set like the space theme should also get you an additional and equivalent amount of points, but that will vary depending on the set, since some have more items than others. Plus, I feel like the space theme in particular might have a larger margin of error for how you place the items, since the positioning could be a little ambiguous. These two series alone should have given me close to 100,000 points as it is, but I feel like I may have been positioning them wrong or something, since even when I had them done, I was still coming up short for the HRA items. I really don't know for sure, and someone who is an expert of this would probably have to go back and watch these streams to see what I was doing wrong beforehand. After I switched these rooms around, I started taking a majority of the rare and exclusive items, mainly the items you get from Tortimer during the holidays, and filled the rest of my first floor with them. Pretty much all of those items by themselves will give you 1,000 points each, and I had a ton of them in my basement. Certain reward and trophy items, like the Luigi trophy and the box of tissues, will also give about 1,000 points as well, so don't be afraid to place them somewhere as well. As far as gyroids and the Gulliver items, they're decent, but only about 800 or 400 points respectively. So they might be good earlier on in a playthrough when you don't have as much, but at this point I had many more items that were of a higher priority. Also, NES games are apparently about 1,000 points as well, so try to find a place for them too if you can. Once I was done, I was somewhat satisfied. I'll be real, I personally thought my first floor room looked kind of cluttered, and I didn't exactly have a lot of space in, ironically enough, the space room. But at least to start, I think I covered a lot of my bases here. We'll just have to see how I score tomorrow and adjust accordingly if even needed. Hey, as long as I get the rewards, that's all that really matters, right? Because I spent all day doing this, I didn't really do anything else. I did get a message from Bill though, who gave me a train set, probably to make amends for his behavior the other day. See, Bill really is a solid dude after all. Wednesday, December 19th. We woke up the next morning to a blinking mailbox, and sure enough, we got the letter I was expecting from the HRA, and we obtained the first HRA reward. Hell, after looking at the message itself, not only did we get enough points for the first reward, but also the second reward as well. However, we won't get that until tomorrow, since it can only send one gift at a time. 70,000 is the point threshold for the first reward, and 100,000 for the second. I pulled off a score of 110,000, literally 60,000 more points than what I was getting before this major renovation. So if you follow the very basic guideline I highlighted, you should be good to go. Anyway, the prize you get for accomplishing this are the house models, with the normal house model being the 70k reward, and the manor model being the 100k reward. That's 2 more models we'll be able to cross off our list, and another main playthrough objective completed as well, just in time before the holiday season. For the rest of the day, I just talked to a few neighbors, the biggest highlight perhaps being Maddie, who literally got angry after talking about the cold weather. I can feel that though. I know my parents' dog hates dealing with cold weather himself, as sometimes he just refuses to go outside if it's too cold. He'll just stand at the door and give you the stink eye like, "You're not serious, right?" It's kind of funny, actually. Thursday, December 20th. After checking the mail, we get the manor model, a model of a fully upgraded house, and claim our second HRA reward, meaning we are officially done with all of that stuff now. You can still boost up your house score if you wish to see how high of a point value you can get, but you will not get any more rewards as a result, so keep that in mind. For the rest of the day, I just spent some time with the neighbors. Weber seemed to be having a bit of a rage problem today, and it seems like he has a habit of taking it out on Dana, the closest person to him in town, which I think is uncool personally. She doesn't deserve that. He really needs to start getting into the holiday spirit, I think. Oh god, maybe this will end up being a pop star version of the Christmas Carol. Does this mean that Weber is now Webenezer Scrooge? Okay, I better stop now before this gets any more cursed and cringe. I also got a prompt to change Maddie's catchphrase today, and since I didn't have any brilliant ideas, I relied on chat, which suggested pickle. And well, there you go, Maddie says pickle now. I also got another letter from my mother today, and she asked me if I actually met anyone special in town yet, implying that she wants grandkids in the sign-off. She does know that I'm living with a bunch of animals, right? Don't think it works that way. Friday, December 21st. Wow, so even Maddie thought the pickle catchphrase was stupid. Not even 24 hours later, and she's already back to saying yippee again. Guess that's the last time I asked chat to give catchphrases, huh? Meanwhile, Cookie was excited to talk about her shoes today, which, from the look of her, she wasn't wearing any shoes. Probably unwise when the ground is covered in snow like it is, unless of course she was wearing invisible shoes or something. And we had a triple threat of Mama V today, when she asked for an apple, being right next to an apple tree while giving the request. She asked to take an item that I just scored from Gulliver earlier in the day before I even got a chance to look at it. And she also insulted the town tune. Geez, Mama V, I know parents have some off days sometimes, but never expected to this degree. Aside from those happenings, though, it was also a decent day for the catalog as well. Scoring an item from Gulliver, like I said before. Someone buried a rare Regal item that I hadn't gotten yet, one of Red's items at that. And Wisp tonight gave us a timpano drum. Hey, pretty cool stuff today. Saturday, December 22nd. We have another visit from Wendell, who ends up giving us a music room wallpaper. My good buddy Silverstar65 asked me to give the wallpaper to him. I responded by going to the dump, and then I threw it on the ground. Don't worry, I made sure to tell him it was there beforehand, so now it's on him to pick it up. Smile emoji. For music today, I decided to go with a lovely holiday classic. Name that tune. And although I hope to do another random number generator selection with KK Slider, I accidentally requested him to pick a song this time, but thankfully it was still one we hadn't gotten yet, so we listened to KK Step.
Me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, now, now, oh, me, quick, oh, me, oh, me, oh, me, quick, oh, now, now, oh, me, quick, now, me, quick, now, now, me, oh, me, quick, oh, now, me, now.
Before we stop with the day, though, I should mention that we will actually have two events happening in the next 2 days, the 23rd and the 24th. I know you would probably expect the event to be on the 25th, not just from real-world logic, but also how events are done in future games, but that's just the way it works here, with nothing happening on the 25th. Just thought I would be clear on that, just to avoid any other expectations people might have. Sunday, December 23rd. Happy Toy Day, everyone! That's right, another Animal Crossing holiday is here, so head on down to the Wishing Well and get your gift from Tortimer so you can start celebrating the holiday with all your animal buddies. Unfortunately, that's about all that will happen today. I know, a little disappointing, but keep in mind that the Christmas holiday is technically in 2 parts, on 2 different days, so we'll still have something going on tomorrow, too. Getting back to Tortimer, the first thing I should mention is that he doesn't show up until 10 a.m., and as we have discovered on other holidays, he will only be there until a certain point. I actually came too early today since I came around 9 today, and once again the turtle wasn't around, so I had to move time forward when I was done with my dailies. His gift for Toy Day will be one of 2 different things, depending on your gender of your character. If you're a boy, you will get a car model, a model of Gracie's car, and if you're a girl, you will get a Dolly furniture item. Wow, Animal Crossing, way to ascend gender toy preferences. What if I wanted to play with dolls, huh? I mean, I don't, but I'm sure there are some guys out there who do. It is pretty lame, though, that if you want to collect all the game models, you're technically locked out of doing that if you don't make multiple characters of different genders. But with the 18 different train station models, that's probably not happening anyway without some kind of massive manipulation. Manipulation I'll talk about later, of course. Not much else really happened today, though. I had a small little neighbor day today where I did a favor for Weber in an effort to stay on his good side, and to make sure the holiday Grinch wouldn't seize all the assets in Whoville for his own personal gain. And I also got a pretty strange but savage letter from my mom, who was feeling nostalgic for my kid years, causing her to not wash my dirty shoes? But she did tell me to wash them instead. Classic mom. I also started to realize that we would be losing a neighbor very soon on the 26th, my literal birthday, so we started speculating on who the next victim would be. I wrote Rhoda a letter, so she should stick around, meaning we'll end up losing one of the other 14 instead. Oh boy, I hope we don't lose anyone huge like a Lily or Ava or something. We, being me and the stream chat, also had fun coming up with letters that we would send to each other if we ever decided to move out. My favorite letter was from Silverstar65. See, you can really feel the deep and emotional impact of this departure. Monday, December 24th. The Toy Day holiday madness continues on this day because every year on December 24th, a special visitor will be in your town. But before we get to those festivities, let's have a few other holiday highlights. First, our mom writes us yet again, once again being very nostalgic for classic holiday memories. It seems like a very interesting event happened the previous year, involving a girl named Cindy and her hamster. Well, whatever happened, that didn't sound good, Mom. Just saying. Also, Cookie leaves us a lovely holiday present underground in the form of a pitfall. So, in what I hope becomes a grand holiday tradition, we use it on Caesar. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Although, after thinking about it, a holiday tradition involving Caesar means he would have to stick around Popstar in order for it to continue, so maybe it shouldn't become one. Anyway, at 8 p.m. in the evening, a reindeer named Jingle will appear and start wandering around your town. Say hello to the Santa of Animal Crossing. Of course, though, with Christmas Eve being the busiest night of the year for the big guy, he may not seem very chatty at first. However, keep being persistent in finding him and talking to him, and he'll actually give you one of 13 holiday-specific Jingle items, including 10 pieces of Jingle furniture, a matching wallpaper and carpet, and a special Jingle shirt as well. Now, like I said, you have to find him, talk to him, and then find him again to keep the process moving. And to get your first item, you have to find and talk to him 5 times, which is a little obsessive, admittedly. Especially considering I don't think your neighbors will actually help you find him like they did with Franklin. However, once you complete this process once, it does get a little faster, as any subsequent items will only require 2 Jingle searches and not 5. Although, like Jack, make sure you change your clothes when you are not in the same area as Jingle, because he will recognize you and your Xmas greediness if you continually pester him for more loot while wearing the same outfit. He may even cut you off for good, at least for this single day, if your clothing options aren't radically different, but I admittedly didn't try to get everything again, only did the process a few times to show how it worked, so I never ran into that problem. He did recognize me once though, but that may have been because I swapped from one custom outfit to another one. But I may have not been out of his eyesight when I did so either, so it's hard to tell. Now, you're probably wondering, can you get duplicate items with Jingle? I believe so, but the variance this time is not as bad. You see, whenever you talk to Jingle, he'll actually question you on the type of gift that you can get, and how you respond to his question will determine what you will ultimately obtain. If you answer something foldable, you'll get the shirt. Something woven is the carpet, something printed is the wallpaper, and something big is one of the furniture items. Doing this, you can pretty easily secure the clothes, wallpaper, and carpet, but I think the furniture items are a bit of a crapshoot, and duplicates can arise from them. Also, if you have already gotten the other 3 single items, he may just not give you the option for the furniture at all, which would lead to a duplicate anyway. So yeah, getting everything here is still not as easy as it is on Harvest Day, but probably easier than Halloween at least. It's a shame, but hey, at least you don't have to worry about playing Metal Gear Halloween like you had to do with Jack back in October, and you get some lovely town music to listen to during this time. And as usual, with all the holiday items, they sell for a ton of bells at Nook's shop, so if you end up with a lot of duplicates, it's also a lot of moolah for your pocket as well. So enjoy that at least. That's about it for the Toy Day holiday though. I know tomorrow is actual Christmas Day, but like I said, they don't actually give you anything for participating on that day, which is a bit of a shame. It's alright though, because being me, I happen to have a birthday on the following day, so we can keep the festive cheer continuing on for that at least. I guess the developers figured that you would want to probably spend Christmas with your actual family, as opposed to your animal family, which probably a poor move from the developers' end, but I'll give them a small pass here, as this was the first Animal Crossing game. Anyway, let's move on. Tuesday, December 25th. Merry Christmas, everyone, or at least as Christmas as this day can be, since all the Christmas festivities have already happened, but oh well, we'll make the most of it. We did have a visitor who came in their own personal sleigh, but it was just Gracie who gave us another one of her clothing items, which is still something, I guess. We also got notice of the next event that will be happening in just 1 week, the arrival of the new year in the form of the New Year's Eve Countdown, which will happen on December 31st at 11 p.m., so we'll be sure to be there. We also had a pretty funny moment with Rhoda today, who got incredibly disgusted by the pond smelt we had in our pockets, just for her to end up wanting to take the pond smelt for herself anyway. Okay then, you do you, Rhoda. I will say though, even though I wasn't sure how to feel about Rhoda at first, she is slowly growing on me little by little, which I am glad since I was literally burning through all the snooty villagers pretty quickly. Don't get me wrong, there'd be enough to get through the rest of the project, I'm sure, but hey, gotta have some variety, right? It is worth mentioning that starting on December 25th, a new daily occurrence will be happening for pretty much the rest of winter. In addition to the usual daily appearances of balls and fossil spots, you can also find 2 snowballs, and much like the normal balls, you can roll them around on the ground, and since there is snow on the ground as well, the snowballs will slowly increase in size as you roll them. Your goal with these is to ultimately get the 2 snowballs together in order to make a snowman, so you have to roll them both into the same acre and push one on top of the other one. This process is... Admittedly, I'm not a fan of this. The main reason is that you have to look all over town for these snowballs, and because the ground is white too, it's kinda hard to see them sometimes, especially when they get located behind trees as well. Not to mention, they could both be located on opposite sides of the town, which means you might have to push them over bridges or up hills, neither of which I like doing. You may get lucky sometimes, and have them be in neighboring districts, but yeah, I've never been fond of lucky breaks, as you likely know from my Mario Party videos. What is the purpose of building a snowman, though? Well, aside from being for decoration and also just a fun winter pastime you can take part in, there is a furniture set that you can get items for by doing this, the snowman set. In order to get items for this though, you have to build the perfect snowman, which means it must be proportionally sized. This is really hard to do, because the game is very picky and you almost have to just get a feel for the right sizes involved. There have been times where I thought I had it just fine, just for the snowman to say I was a fraction off and made me go empty-handed. You ultimately want a big body, but not too big, and a head that's roughly 2/3 the size of the body in question. When you have the right dimensions, the snowman will be all impressed and talk about how great he looks. If he so happens to mention any kind of flaw, you messed up your chance and must try again the following day, since the snowballs won't respawn once you make the snowman. There are once again 12 items you can get in this fashion, 10 pieces of furniture, and the matching carpet and wallpaper. So best of luck in your snowman crafting if you want to collect all of them. I ended up failing today, but I'll have plenty of time to make the perfect snowman, so we'll get it at some point. Also, a little tip, if you feel like your snowballs are too big, you can roll them on any ground surface that isn't snow to make them smaller. Something you will probably have to do if they spawn on opposite sides of town, so be ready for that. Anyway, this was a lovely Christmas day, despite maybe not being as festive as the real world event. But I personally have another big day tomorrow, so let's get ready to see what that's all about, No. No, 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 no! No way! No freaking way! On my birthday? On my freaking birthday!